Hey everyone, doing a bit of an early stream today. Work let out a little early today, so I figured I'd get a little more time in, because I know we've still got a long way to go on this game. So, last time we were running around the garden, trying to figure out what to do with everything. We picked up a whole bunch of items. Got a coin, small knife, metal detector. Alright. We've got this scale here. Not really sure what to do with it, but we'll figure something out. Oh yeah, and there's these some kind of tile mosaic on the bottom of the pond. A lion. Oh, it's another lion. I've been writing down where I find these lions. Head tile mosaic. In stream. Yeah, looks like a line, alright. And there's this guy with a key. Yeah, because we dug it up. Nothing else underneath the spot. Oh yeah, and there's these... Oh. It's reacting to this onion. Alright, let's dig it up. This is the only one that got a reaction, right? Okay, so combine this with the knife, and there was a coin inside. I found an onion, strangely enough. Does any other plants have coins in them? If you're dirty, you can just wash your clothes in the stream. Damn it, Sigma. Stop being horny. I guess there aren't any other... Oh, right, because wasn't there a coin in this pepper? That's weird. So I think we need 4 coins, but I don't know where the other ones would be. Oh. I know if we turn the light off... these light up. So it's small purple, purple, blue, yellow, purple, blue, yellow, green, red. Blue, yellow, green, red. I don't know what that means though. And you can't seem to really do anything else in the dark. Purple, blue. So it's purple, blue, yellow, green, red. I can't seem to find anything else with the lights off. Try putting these coins on the scales. No, I guess not. Oh, I just didn't have the metal detector equipped. That was the problem. So, yeah, we gotta cut open the tomato. Just this one. Yep. I'm guessing there's one for cucumber as well. Yep. So, combine with a knife. Get a green coin. Combine with the knife. Get a red coin. So now I have 4 coins, and I don't have the knife anymore, so I think that's good. So now we need to put them here, but I think in order to figure that out, I think we have to use the scale. The other things that look similar have different weights, like those 4 coins, exactly. Finish weighing, then press the reset button. So, green weighs more than yellow. More than white. More than red. Okay, so the green one is the heaviest one. Green, then yellow. What? It just flew everywhere. You think it's broken? Let's see. Oh, I get it. If you use the scale more than 5 times, it triggers the spring, which makes the whole thing shake. They'll do the same thing if you stop using it before you've reached 5 times. Alright, we need to pick up all the coins. Well, now I've got the coins. Well, I mean, I think I know how much they weigh, though. Green's the heaviest, yellow's the next heaviest, and it's either white or red. So presumably... Wait, which one is this? Yeah, green's the heaviest. And either the white one goes here, and the red one goes here. Looks like something unlocking. It's actually a door, and there's a screen inside of it, showing 9 stars. What are we supposed to do with them? We should try touching them. Purple, blue, green, yellow, red. Purple, blue, yellow, green, red. I don't remember which one. There it is. Good work. Look at the screen. So that's the one to get out of here. Wait, this is safe password. You don't need to move it anymore. Okay. Well, was there something else I was supposed to do with the scale? Anything else I need to weigh? Okay, so maybe there's a different order? We could go in the order of the coins. Or we could go in the opposite order. I can't remember. Oh, oh. I think I know. I tried to solve this one, yeah, but I have a feeling there's something else to it. I think I know what to do. This one's purple is small. Blue is big, so blue, then purple. Blue, yellow, purple. Blue, yellow, purple, green. Red, blue, yellow, purple, green. So you have to go the size of the stars. I have to turn the light on first, though. Usually I'm not too bad with blue and purple. I don't know why I keep getting those two mixed up. We did it! Yay! Check out the screen. Alright, so stars, stars, moon. Screens change. Yep. Safe. Looks like one. Yep. Let's see if we can get it open. Sun, sun, sun. Oh, it opened again. There's something inside. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got a map, which, you know, upper left is floor B. Is top floor, B is the bottom floor, so yeah. That one we know about already. The, moon key cards, yeah, we know about these two. And here, just look at the sun card. Well, you're solo, so Luna and I take one, you take the other one. Alright, thanks. So what we got next? Looks like a piece of paper. What is this? Test site. It splits into E, D, and C. Some kind of diagram? It doesn't make any sense. I wonder what it is. Yeah, I mean, Nevada was where we had Building Q in the first game, but that was a building, it wasn't a hole in the ground. Oh well, just forget about it for now. You can always come back to it later. There's two more things in here. What's this? IG, immunoglobulin. It says IG equals immunoglobulin. Oh, the IG replicator. It's another word for an antibody. You mean like the thing in your body that fights off bacteria and viruses and stuff, yeah. So what is this supposed to tell us? Honestly, I have no idea. It's for the thing in the lab. So maybe, I was wondering about this earlier, maybe you can make copies of the Accelevier using that replicator. The only thing left is this key, and the key to exit, yeah. Alright. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get out of here. Go, 3, 2, 1. No sooner we stepped out of the garden than I saw the three people I'd watched leave through the green door sometime earlier. Whoa, what are you guys doing here?
We ought to be asking you the same thing. How'd you get here? Sigma, hand me the map.
Right. Took the map out of my pocket.
You three came in through the blue door, right? And which room did you go into?
This fan-shaped one. It's called the Bee Garden.
Bee garden?
It's this big dome with a bunch of plants in it. Look, you can go see it yourself later, alright?
What about you guys?
Well, after we went through the green door, we ended up in the treatment center.
So then we meet here.
So, what's the treatment center? It sounds a lot like the infirmary.
You want to have a look? We can go back to any of the rooms we've already visited. So?
Sure, let's have a look. After a few moments of brisk walking, we found ourselves in the treatment center. What are those?
They're why this is called a treatment center. Those pods can cure a number of illnesses and even repair certain injuries.
Whoa, that's nuts.
How about you climb in one of them, Dio?
Why?
Well, maybe it can fix whatever's wrong with your brain.
Hey! You want to start something, lady?
Calm down now, son. You don't cool off a bit, and I'll have to throw you in one of these pods here.
Huh? Why?
Weren't you paying attention? They have a cold sleep function. I figured that ought to cool your head up.
Wait, did you say cold sleep? That's where they freeze you, right? And you can stay that way for a really long time.
Yeah?
I wonder if that's going to come up at some point.
According to some records we found in here, until about 8 hours ago, there were 3 frozen people in these pods.
Oh.
3 people? Who?
You mean 3 of us were? We don't know.
Aha.
All we found was what was in the logs for the pods.
How long were they here?
No idea. Part of the logs were erased. All that's left is when the cold sleep function turned off. It records them thawing out, getting up, and that's it.
Then they could be anyone.
Well, anyone but you.
What? Why not Alice?
Because you don't need a device like this to freeze Alice. Am I wrong?
Huh?
What?
What are you talking about?
You don't need to play dumb. The water in your body isn't normal water. It's something called Ice 9.
What? How? What? How? Okay. What's going on here?
It freezes at 96.8 degrees. That means all you have to do to put yourself in cold sleep is drop your body temperature below 96.8.
I'm sorry, who are you? What? Hold on a second.
No fancy machine needed.
Where on earth did you hear that?
From Clover.
Oh. Okay. For a second there.
Clover?
When we were exploring the lounge during the first round.
For a second there I was like, Temyoji, how do you know all this?
I see.
What's so funny?
Oh man, you fell for that one hook, line, and sinker, didn't you? Clover was messing with you. That is, if she even said anything to you at all. It was a lie. A joke.
A joke? No, there's no way it was a joke. I'm sure about it. Your body is made of Ice 9.
What?
Well, you're
Okay.
mistaken. It's a ridiculous misunderstanding. An urban legend.
With seemingly no other prompting, Alice launched into a lengthy explanation. It went something like this. Oh, okay. some point in the past, someone found a frozen mummified Egyptian queen. What was curious about this mummy, however, was, wow, flashbacks to the first game time. As it remained frozen at room temperature, people again referred to her as All Ice, which eventually became simply Alice. Rumors that her body was made of ice and began to circulate, and her bizarre refusal to thaw only compounded them.
They say that the mummy finally thawed, and when it did, it began to move. And ever since then, I've had people say they thought I was her. I mean, really? How could anyone believe something so ridiculous? The existence of this mysterious Alice and of this ice that doesn't melt are just urban legends.
But why would people make that mistake about you in particular?
It can't just be because your name's Alice. There are tons of Alices.
Is it because of your face and how you look?
Well, it is true that I am both beautiful and elegant. Can I really be blamed if people think I'm an Egyptian queen? I don't think that's the only reason, though. Someone who made that mistake said something to me once. They claimed they'd seen me before. Of course, I immediately pressed the issue. Do you mean the mummy, Alice? I said. When? Where? Of course, they were at a loss. In fact, I began to feel a little sorry for them. So I told them something. If you're so convinced, then maybe I am actually Alice. But maybe I've lost my memory and can't remember who I am. And so on and so on. I'm still not sure why Clover would tell you something like that, though. Even if she was just messing with you, it seems a little out of left field.
You really think she put that much thought into it? She was probably just screwing with him, and it was the first thing that came to mind.
I wonder if this is why Clover and Tenmyoji get along in that one... There was one where... I can't remember now, but like... She got real pissed at him because he betrayed her.
Maybe she wanted to see if she could get him to believe something completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I could see her doing something like that. Well, I think that's enough idle gossip for now. The cold sleep business is interesting, but I don't think it's terribly useful. We should go see if the other team has returned to the warehouse yet.
At Alice's request, we made our way out of the treatment center. So now we get here. So we know this. Ninth Lion. This
It looks
is
like another warehouse.
with white doors.
It looks like the same warehouse.
Hey, look!
3 more doors.
They're all glowing white. You think?
All of them locked.
I'd bet on it. Look, they've got the same boxes next to them as the other doors.
Mm-hmm.
So the next set of doors are white?
They haven't all been the same color before.
We definitely need to tell the others about this.
Right. Let's head back to floor A. Okay, so I guess that's a... Once you go through that... Oh, I see. They stop there because I bet that's a thing that allows that door to open. It unlocks that door so you can go that way. Since we couldn't go that way before. So it's like a shortcut. I think that's what those green arrows on the map were. We're basically like, oh yeah, this is how you get back. Okay, back in Warehouse A.
Oh, thank goodness. You finally returned. I was beginning to get anxious.
Something happened?
Yes, it's Quark, you see. He
What? What happened to Quark?
collapsed. It happened so suddenly. We were just searching our room.
What?
Please, you must hurry to the infirmary. Clover is looking after him, but his condition could change at any moment. You should go.
Oh no.
Tenmyoji shoved Kay aside and left for the yellow door. The rest of us exchanged a few startled looks, then ran off after him.
Quark, come on, kid. Get a hold of yourself.
Tenmyoji grabbed Quark's shoulders and began to shake him desperately. It was Clover who stopped him.
Hey, what are you doing? He's sick, and we don't even know what's wrong with him. What if you make him worse?
Then what am I supposed to do? I have to save him.
Save? That seems a little extreme. Maybe he just has anemia or something.
No, that's not it. I know him better than any of you. He doesn't have anemia. He's never just collapsed before.
Well, then call an ambulance and stop freaking out about it.
You son of a bitch. This is serious.
The infirmary seems pretty well equipped. There are plenty of diagnostic tools, but
Without a doctor, there's not going to be much we can do with him.
Oh, right. Well, we've got Luna.
Luna?
That's right. I remember Dio saying something. You have a medical license, don't you?
Wait, really? Is that true, Luna?
Well, yes, but...
You have to take a look at him then. Please. Quark needs your help.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. I think that machine over there is a medical scanner. It's called an Atom. It uses nuclear magnetic resonance imaging to examine and diagnose people.
So that thing can tell us what's wrong with Quark.
Yes, I believe it can.
I don't want to rush you, but the sooner the better. Just let us know if you need anything.
Of course.
The whole process took only a few minutes. The machine scanned Quark's body, and within seconds his results lit up the screen. Words too complicated for me to understand scrolled across it, and as she read them, Luna's face grew dark. She bit her lip and just stood there for a moment looking down at Quark before she spoke.
Well, I know what's wrong with him. I feel so terrible saying this, but Quark has an infection. A viral infection.
Oh no.
Oh no. Don't tell me.
Yes. He's been infected with a virus called Radical 6.
You heard of this virus? Radical 6, I mean.
Yeah. I told Alice and Tenmyoji about it.
Fi and I heard about it from Luna.
To the first people to investigate the infirmary, they must have seen the newspaper clipping that Quark found. I'd stayed behind after the AV game, and they'd all split up and gone in different rooms. It seemed like, one way or another, everyone had heard about Radical 6.
No. He can't... How could he have gotten infected? That's not possible.
Something about the tone of his voice seemed strange. Why wasn't it possible? Had Tenmyoji known about Radical 6 before the rest of us?
There must be something we can do! How can we cure him?
Well, Adam says there's an antiviral serum called Excelivir. It's the only way to counteract Radical 6. If we can inject him with some, he should be okay.
Where is it? Shouldn't it be in the infirmary somewhere?
We looked around, but we didn't see anything.
I don't trust a damn thing you say. I'm asking Luna.
I'm sorry, but Theo's telling the truth. We didn't find anything.
Damn it. What about the other rooms? Sigma, what about you? Did you find anything?
No, nothing like medicine. I mean, it was just like a park. Lots of vegetation and stuff, but no medicine.
What about you, Kay? Was there any medicine in your room?
We visited the laboratory. There were a number of chemicals and concoctions there, some of which were medicine, but nothing like what we're searching for, I'm afraid.
Is that true? I seem to remember there being some in the lab.
Oh god. He's going to... Oh god, no.
But just to be sure, the three of you went to the treatment center, right? And you're sure it wasn't there?
No, there was nothing even remotely like it. You went there too, didn't you? The only thing in the treatment center are those treatment pods.
Treatment pods. That's it. If we put Quark in one of those pods... For a moment, there was silence.
Quark?
Quark! Oh, thank God. You're awake!
Get away from me!
What?
Oh, this part.
Quark, what are you...
Sorry, Grandpa. I can't. I have to.
Have to what? What are you talking about?
Isn't it obvious? I have to escape.
But... how?
Like this!
Quark's hand moved like lightning. He grabbed hold of the scalpel and was driving it straight towards his heart. Stop!
No! Let go! Let go of me!
Pretty tough for a kid. Hey guys, I could use a hand here.
Yeah, right.
On it.
Me too.
Stop it! Let go of me, you jerks!
Timyoji, what the hell are you doing? Get over here. Can you even hear me?
Oh, right.
Damn you! Bastards! Why won't you let me go? I have to get out of this body! They can't lock away the soul! Once my body's gone, my soul can escape! Please! You have to let me go! Let me go! I'm trapped here! Let me die! I have to die! Kill me! Somebody! Anybody! Kill me! Kill me! Kill me! Ah!
Jesus, this kid's lost it. Hey, somebody get that scalpel away from him. Good. Thanks, whoever that was. Quark barely even seemed to notice the loss of the scalpel. He continued to scream and writhe like he was possessed. What are we gonna do? We've gotta calm him down somehow.
Luna,
Yes?
are there any tranquilizers in here?
No. Well, I mean,
What?
there's Superel Beta.
Sopero?
That's the anesthetic. The one that's in our bracelets.
Good. Perfect. Hit him with some of that.
What?
He'll be fine. It's just an anesthetic, Temyoji. It won't hurt him, I promise.
But...
Just hurry up and do it! Come on, Luna!
Okay, let me just... Okay, I've got it.
Good. Wait until he's... Now! Do it now!
Right.
No! Stop! Stop!
Respiration, blood pressure, brain waves, everything's normal. According to these readings, he's in a very deep sleep.
Alright, I guess we're good for now.
Yes,
What about the anesthetic? How long will it last?
he shouldn't wake up for a few hours.
Man, he sure was strong for such a little guy.
I think that might be the virus's fault. It probably attacks the part of the brain that governs reason. Without anything to hold it back, his body was using every ounce of strength it had.
Yeah? How do you know?
Huh? Oh, well,
How much do you know about this Radical 6?
oh, not much. I probably know about as much as you do. All I've seen about it is that newspaper article.
That the truth?
Why would I lie about that? I've seen other viruses do the same thing. I was just making a guess. So when Quark tried to kill himself, are you saying that was because of Radical 6 too? Yes, at least I think so.
So what kind of virus is Radical 6?
What are you doing?
I turned and followed Tenmyoji's gaze. There stood Alice, her hand wrapped tightly around the scalpel. Apparently she had been the one to take it away from Quark. The longer I looked at her, however, the more I wondered if she'd taken it to protect him, or for some other more sinister reason. She didn't seem stable. In fact, she looked far more like Quark had a moment ago than I was entirely comfortable with. Her eyes were flat and hollow. Her face was an emotionless mask. She was not well. Alice? Hey, you feeling okay?
We're all going to die.
Uh-oh.
We're all dead already. Only terrorists would resort to biological warfare. But they will. Soon.
Hey, what the hell are you talking about?
You don't understand? All of humanity is going to die. The virus will spread. Adults, children, everyone. Everyone! There won't be anyone left! I'd rather die here!
So maybe this is what happened to her. Maybe it wasn't Dio. We just stood there as she spun around and leapt to the door. Damn it. I shook myself and took off after her. She's gonna be in the crew quarters. Too many doors between us. Shit, which way did she go? Right? Left? I was still trying to decide when everyone else poured out of the infirmary.
You lost her.
Yeah, I don't know which way she went.
Well, let's split up and look. Quickly. She can't have gotten too far.
Right.
Look, if you find her, it's probably best not to shout or anything. Just do your best not to provoke her. Understood?
Gotcha.
Tenmyoji, I think you should stay here with Quark. The rest of us can look for Alice. Sound good?
Yeah, I stay here. Got it.
All right, let's move, people. Get going.
At Phi's command, we scattered, filtering off into the different doors. As I ran, I thought, where should I look for Alice? Perhaps the lounge would be a good bet? No, it's the crew quarters. No, you're going the wrong way. Oh. Not here. Yep. Where did she go? Complaining wasn't going to help anything. I need to go look somewhere else. No. Everywhere but the right direction. I mean, it is possible that she's somewhere else, but yeah, if this is playing out how it happened the last few times, then yeah, she's in the crew quarters. At least I would think so. Treatment center. Shoot, nothing in the treatment center either. To find her quicker, she's gonna do something bad. If we hadn't stopped Quark. I need to hurry. Yeah, I headed to the garden next. I guess floor B garden? I'd only gone a few steps from the walkway through the grass when I stopped short. Oh. Alice.
Oh, there you are. Good. I'm glad you showed up.
Huh?
I just got here a minute ago. She was like this when I found her. When you showed up, I was getting ready to carry her to the infirmary.
And she's alive?
Yeah. Her breathing and pulse seem normal. She doesn't appear to have any obvious external wounds.
So she's just unconscious.
Looks like it.
What about the scalpel?
Doesn't look like she has it. Figure she probably dropped it on the way here. Anyway, we need to get her to the infirmary. Give me a hand here.
Right. Alice was lighter than I expected, and finally I managed to set off toward the infirmary at a brisk trot.
Alright, please pay attention, everyone. You need to hear this. The Atom has finished scanning Alice.
What did it say?
Her results are identical to Quark's. She has also been infected with Radical 6.
On our way back, Phi had gone off to retrieve the rest of the participants. 7 sets of eyes widened as Luna spoke.
Oh no. No! What's going to happen to her?
What's going to happen to us?
Well, like I said before, there's only one way to cure Radical 6. There's a special antiviral treatment. Do you know what immunoglobulin is?
Immunogoblin?
It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6. Those antibodies are the basis for Excelavir.
Wait, what about those pods in the treatment center? Can we just stick them in those?
Right. I thought of that too, so I went and took a closer look at them. Unfortunately...
They can't cure it.
Correct. They can suppress the symptoms for a while, but they can't kill the virus itself. The only way we can help Alice and Quark is if we can find some Excelavir.
But the pods will keep them from getting any worse, right?
Yes.
So maybe it's a good idea
Well,
to
then what
put
are we
them in
waiting
pods.
for?
Yeah.
One of you, grab Alice. We're going to the treatment center.
As he spoke, Tenmyoji moved over to Quark and lifted his small unconscious body off the bed. Quark shifted slightly as Tenmyoji moved him, and something fell out of his pocket with a soft clink. I bent down slowly and picked it up. Is this medicine? It's Excelavir,
What?
dude.
Well, what is it?
Hold on. There's a name on the label here. Axel... Yeah.
Excelavir! You found it, Sigma! That's the one thing that can cure Radical 6.
Why did Quark have it?
Perhaps he found it earlier.
Earlier when?
We explored the laboratory.
Oh, so that's why you guys didn't find it, because he found it.
It was on the other side of the red door. I happened to notice Quark putting something in his pocket. Whether or not that was his intention is unclear. I did not have the opportunity to ask, as he collapsed immediately afterwards. It didn't feel appropriate to go digging around in his pockets for it after that. And to be honest, it had also slipped my mind. We were rather preoccupied with getting him to the infirmary as quickly as possible.
Who cares about the details? We have it. Hurry up and give it to her, Luna.
Hey, hold on a minute. What about Alice?
Does it really matter if she goes first or not?
I'm sorry, but I don't think we can do that.
What?
There's only enough here for one person. The only way we have to administer this is with the injection gun. And the way it functions, it uses a whole bottle each time you pull the trigger.
In other words, we can't split the dose in two or something.
Right.
While we all stood stunned, Phi moved. Stepping over to Quark, she quickly ran her hands through his clothes, then stepped back with a frown and a small shake of her head.
Nothing. That one bottle was it.
Do you think there might be some more back in the laboratory?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
But there is a replicator.
Oh, God.
Just enough medicine for one dose.
Only one person can be saved.
Who should we give it to?
Alice or Quark?
The hell is this? There's no way we're only going to save one of
And
them.
what are we going to do?
Do I have to spell it out? We're going to save them both.
How?
That's, I needed to calm down, think. There had to be some way to save both of them. It was there, I knew it. IG, immunoglobulin.
Do you know what immunoglobulin is? It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6.
Oh, he's remembering. He's remembering the replicator from the other playthrough that we did.
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
So it's like a copy machine.
Yeah. Probably copies IG.
So
Whatever that is.
you had to have both seen the garden information and seen this machine to probably, well, you would have seen the one in the garden because it's the same path. But you had to have done the path where you saw this machine with Clover and Dio to know that this thing was here. Any
Who
ideas?
knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
That's it. I've got it. The IG replicator in the laboratory. It's an immunoglobulin replication machine.
What?
You can't see that, but I just had a Steam achievement come up, which means I've probably gotten something important. It can copy immunoglobulin antibodies. Luna just said Excelavir is made from antibodies. That means we can make more Excelavir.
Hold on a moment. There is a strange device in the laboratory that says IG Replicator on it. Clover and I examined it thoroughly when we were in that room.
Yeah, we never could figure out what it did though.
Exactly. My question is, how
Oh,
did you know about
that?
it, Sigma?
I saw it when I was in the laboratory.
When was that?
Probably when you were looking for Alice, right?
No, Dio was wrong. I hadn't gone to the laboratory when I was looking for Alice. I didn't think I'd ever been to the laboratory. So how did I know about the IG replicator?
If what he's saying is true, then we should be able to duplicate the Excelavir. That would mean we could cure Alice and Quark.
So I'm guessing that this normally would have been a to be continued spot and I would have had to stop, but now since we've got this, I can keep going.
Let's go have a look then. The laboratory, right?
Yeah, no time to waste.
We all nodded. Wait, we can't leave them here all alone. Luna, do you think you could stay behind and look after them?
Oh, of course. I'd be happy to.
Alright then, let's go.
So this is the lab, huh?
Yes.
Where's this IG replicator thing?
Right here. See?
So this can copy the Excelavir?
I think so.
What are we waiting for?
Calm down, alright. Don't rush me. I carefully lowered the small vial of Excelavir into the slot on the side of the machine. An empty vial already protruded from the other side. Presumably that was where the duplicated Excelavir would go. Ready? When I push this button, it should...
Skip it. Just press the damn thing.
Right. And pressed. Did it work?
Have a look. The empty vial has something in it now.
And the vial Sigma used remains as it was. It does not seem to have lost any of its contents.
So, it worked?
Would have been pretty bad if it hadn't.
Alright, let's get this thing back to the infirmary. I reached down and pulled both vials from the machine, intending to slip them deftly into my pocket. Oh, shit.
What happened?
Sorry, my hand slipped.
You dropped one of them?
Yeah, just one
What
though.
in the hell? What if you'd broken it, you idiot?
Come on, if it'd broken, then we could have just made another copy. Before Timyoji could reply, Phi spoke.
Guys?
I was surprised to hear her voice coming from near my feet. I looked down to see her staring intently at something beneath the table.
You see? It did break!
No, the vial's fine. See?
She held it up in one hand, but didn't move her eyes.
Then what the heck is going on down there?
Take a look.
She slid back from the table quickly and silently. The rest of us bent down to look. It's another bomb. Oh boy.
Whoa. Really? That makes two then.
Guess Kay was right after all.
So there were more bombs.
So it would seem.
Was this here when you guys came through the first time?
No, it was not.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and I looked real hard.
Then somebody must have said it while we were looking for Alice.
Who the hell would do that?
We were all out looking for Alice. It could have been any of us.
No, not any of us. I was back in the infirmary. Quark was still out, so I was keeping an eye on him.
So we shouldn't consider you a suspect. Is that right?
Yeah, Quark's off the list too.
But Tenmyoji, you have no proof that you spent the entire time in the infirmary, do you?
What?
You could have quietly made your way to the laboratory, planted the bomb.
That's insane! Listen to yourself! There's no way in hell I'd have left Quark all by himself to go plant a goddamn bomb!
Timyoji was still staring furiously at Kay when Clover spoke up.
Hey, what's this thing?
I turned in time to see her grab something from under the table.
It looks like a memory card.
Where was it?
Right under the bomb. It was down on the floor under the table.
Could it have been put here by the same person who set the bomb? There was nothing like it here when we examined this room.
Do you think they dropped it accidentally?
Unless it was left here intentionally, yes, I imagine so.
What do you think's on it?
Well, let's take a look. Can I see it for a minute?
Yeah, I guess so.
I plucked the card out of her hand and looked around the room. Nothing. Yeah, there's not been a whole lot of general purpose computers in this entire facility. We'll need to plug it into something that can read memory cards, but I don't see anything here.
So what do we do?
Come on, if I knew that, I'd be doing it.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Oh,
All
yeah.
players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Guys, I think maybe we should get back to the top floor.
Yeah, you're right. We've got what we came here for.
What should we do about the, bomb?
Not much we can do except leave it here. Alice said it'd be dangerous to touch them.
True, but
Drop it. We can talk about the bombs later. Right now we need to take care of Alice and Quark.
Right, so we'll go back to the infirmary, give them the Excel, and then head to the 4A warehouse.
Right.
4A warehouse. 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 4A warehouse.
This ought to do it. It might take a little while, but they should recover.
Her voice was quiet as she backed away from Alice and Cork. In her hand was the injection gun. She carefully removed the empty vial and placed it gently in the cabinet with the other one. You know, we probably should have made another copy, because we don't know if anyone else is infected. Cough, 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 security room, cough, cough. When I passed out for a while, cough, cough. While we were in the laboratory, Luna had moved Cork to a crude cot. They both looked peaceful as they slept. The madness I'd seen on their faces before was completely gone.
Are they really going to be all right?
Yes. The analysis I did on the vials confirmed that the duplicate was real Excelivir. The original was genuine too, of course. Now that they've been treated...
It's only a matter of time before the virus is eliminated.
I believe so, yes.
Oh man, what a relief. I was really worried.
Agreed. Gave her a reassuring pat on the back. And now we gotta
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Now we have to take care of this other problem.
All right, everybody. We can be relieved later. Right now we need to get to the AB rooms and fast.
Damn. Don't even have time to catch our breath.
Come on, let's go. Floor A warehouse is waiting. Oh right, we still have to like think about who has what, and I don't even remember who has what points. I think we're paired with Alice? I mean, she's out, so whatever. There's Temyoji and Dio and Phi who are gonna have to betray each other because they can't risk losing points. And then you've got Kay, Quark, and Clover, and Kay and Clover also have to betray each other because otherwise they'll get to 9.
Oh, he stayed back in the infirmary.
What?
Why?
Well, when we were all heading out, I noticed he wasn't doing anything. So I asked him if he was coming with us. And this is what I got.
I'm still worried about Quark and Alice. I think I'll stick around and make sure they're okay.
I see. That means that Phi's only opponent will be Dio.
I guess he knew Dio was probably going to want to betray anyway, and Temyoji kind of has to because he's only got 1 BP.
Ugh.
That's cool. Nothing to worry about. I plan to choose Ally. You know why?
Because I've only got 1 BP.
Exactly. If you chose Ally and I betrayed you, your BP would drop below 0 and... well, we know what happens then. I want to win, but I'm not that desperate. You see what I'm saying, right?
I mean, I can't help them in this situation.
Tenmyoji and Dio are a pair. Tenmyoji only had 1 BP left. Since Dio said he's going to pick an ally, Phi can't really pick anything else. If she does, Tenmyoji will...
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Kay and I are gonna be going one-on-one too, right? Since Quark's still sleeping.
That is correct.
How many BP do you guys have?
I've got 6.
As do I.
This will be a tough one then.
If one of them can get the other to ally, and then betray that person, the betrayer will have 9 points.
Look, Kay, I know you don't really have any reason to trust me, but...
I know. You would like us both to vote ally, yes?
Yeah.
I agree. If we were to both betray, then we would gain no points. We would lose nothing either, but that's hardly relevant. If both of us cooperate, then we will both gain 2 points, which is much more beneficial.
Right. Okay, good. You're really gonna do it, right?
Yes,
Promise?
promise.
1 minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Shit, this is bad. We need to move, now.
Indeed. Shall we?
DOK, Phi, and Clover all took off immediately, heading into different AB rooms. Counting from the left, Dio went into room 3, K went into room 4, Phi and Clover went into rooms 5 and 6 respectively. I left Luna and myself. What do you think about taking the one on the far left?
Sounds good.
That settled, we headed into AB room number 1.
Seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
It's probably a little late to say this, but you know Alice is still in the infirmary. So,
Yeah, we should pick Ally because, I mean, it's not like she can't... Yeah, it's not like she can betray us, and if we pick Betray, then she would lose points, and we would gain some, but the overall number of points would still go up. So at least this is a safe bet. It's not really fair to betray somebody who isn't voting, and it's not like we need 3 points instead of 2, so... In fact, Luna really only needs 2 points, so... Yeah, that's fine. Looking back at it before I knew what I was doing, for a minute the non-re game didn't seem so scary.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, alright, fine.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Alright, let's go out and look at the results.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
Well, depending on what happens here, some people may be screwed. And some people may be leaving.
Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Of course. Yeah. Wait. What? What? I'm sorry.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
How was it possible? I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No, that's not possible. How can Alice's vote be betray? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Soparol. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Sigma!
no. Why?
My eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them open. Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed the door of the second AB room was open. No one had gone into that room. I'd watched them all, and yet there she stood, an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Did she somehow wake up and then in 30 seconds decide, oh no, I need to screw Sigma over? Really? Why? What was she doing there? Did she run in at the last moment after Luna and I had entered our room? But even if she had, why choose betray? Because she, well, now she'll get out. So my questions were gone forever. Okay, so bad ending, but okay, Alice is kind of a dick. Like, that was a lot of effort just to screw someone over. We'll save back in the first one again. So, yeah, oh, I guess I should have known, given that it was ending right there. Although, what is this part? Oh, I see. There isn't enough antiviral. Okay, so that was lock number 4. This one was number 1. And then I think this one was number 3. So we've opened one of the locks at least, but yeah. Well, now that we know that she's actually going to get up and be a dick, then we know, okay, we actually need to go here and choose betray. So, so this one actually has a fair bit more to go. So I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll go ahead and jump here, but start that off, and let this run for a second while I go take care of something.
30
So I'll be right back.
seconds remain until Amberdeck's game polling closes.
Oh, didn't actually progress
It's probably
forward.
a little late to say this, but you know,
Nope, gotta betray. Luna's gonna be like, what are you doing? Luna and I stepped out in the Avery room.
why? What happened to? It's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting.
Yeah, but I have like special timeline knowledge, and it's hard to explain.
I thought
There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I'd picked betray. Instead, it almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision, like somebody pushing my buttons for me. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved. Okay, hey. Alright? I'm saving your butt here, Sigma. Stop complaining. You don't realize it, but I'm doing you a favor here. Complaining about me pushing the button against his will. Freaking frozen. Right, well, we should go see the results.
we already know what they are. It's just simple math.
The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran toward the projector, anything to get away from those eyes. Yeah, she's not gonna understand.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
So now everybody betrays. Nobody gets anywhere. Aha. Well, this is not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No, how can Alice's vote be betray? It's not possible. Alice. She was standing inside the second room from the left, the room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where did she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move toward us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seemed we were united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it?
Yeah, you stabbed me in the back. There isn't even this like, whatever. Yeah, I should be saying this to you from about 5 minutes ago.
Coward.
Me a coward? You got some balls saying that to me after you picked betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people. A result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we'd gone in the AB room.
Yes. Right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? You two chose betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
Yeah, except you don't have 1 BP like I do, so you're still kind of a dick. Self-defense my ass. You chose betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I'd picked ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
You serious? You have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Not wrong. Although, okay, hold on a second. If you're at 1 BP, picking betray is like the only it's kind of the only rational thing at that point. Like, you kind of just have to betray. Because as we've found out, even picking ally can, when you think you're gonna be okay, you might not be. So, blaming these two for picking betray is kind of bullshit. Like, she's the only one who actually who really didn't need to pick betray in this situation, so she's still kind of a dick. And even these two, like, if they pick ally, it risks someone else escaping. Like, having less than 3 BP, or really having someone else, having your opponent have 6 BP, are the two kind of most obvious situations where it makes sense to pick Betray. Because you don't want to die either having negative BP or, like, letting your opponent escape, and then you're trapped here forever, which also probably means you die to bombs now. So everyone else in this situation actually has a legitimate reason to do this. You don't, so you're still a dick.
Yes, if Dia had chosen ally, Fi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she'd chosen ally, Dia would have killed her.
Yeah, I mean,
wanna
they're
be
gonna...
rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another.
Yeah.
Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
So basically, we're all dicks. A little bit. But Alice is still the biggest dick. Turn to look at the results again. Before I'd only been looking at my own, I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster: betray. Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. Closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You've probably all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never going to get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Okay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution.
We know you're going to keep betraying no matter what,
Sorry.
so... Except against Luna, weirdly enough.
Well, in that case...
At 2-5?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, jeez. Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here.
Nah, you're still the worst one in this situation. Because you had the least excuse for it, and you still did it.
Come on, Clover. Let's go.
Hold on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't gonna leave too?
No,
You sure? I chose betray.
I know. But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something.
I mean, to be fair, I was going to choose ally.
Right?
It's only temporal nonsense that ended up having me choose this answer instead. My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the Star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too. Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up.
Oh, right. Now we gotta do this part where it gets weird because they have to get into the third set of doors. Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. Cyan pair. What about you?
I'm a magenta pair.
I wonder what the others are.
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
Got about hour and 20 until the next set of chromatic doors open. So, what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB game if nobody trusts anybody else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. It seems like a pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray, including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
An enemy?
Yes, a common foe. Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the Accelevator. Yeah, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them.
Right.
But how do we figure out who it is?
Well, do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? Oh, that's right, the memory card. I pulled it out of my pocket and held it out towards her.
What's this?
Told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it, though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh, I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something. Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Theo and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then,
Yes, I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
I mean, we're assuming that this is the same type of memory card. Luna and I exploded in the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Tenyoji. Quark was there as well, but he was just as we left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card and how we'd come to the infirmary in hopes that we could discover the contents of the latter.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Right. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen exactly the right size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. Okay. One racks. Wait, it's the same two lines over and over. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat.
I wonder if I need to write this down. You know what? I think I will. I'm gonna put this next to the other information we got in the other ending. I think I typed that out right. It may write it down for us somewhere, but I'm gonna make a note of it just in case it doesn't.
Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something?
It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Was there anything else on there?
No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we get is this gibberish. Hey Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training?
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
So, we know who that is. So now we also know who probably is placing bombs. Well, we already knew who was placing bombs. What am I saying? Yeah. But if you hadn't already known that, you would not know it, because he also mentions that he's in the Myrmidons in that ending. Anyways, the point is we know what's going on now.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb?
It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn, I've got a ton of questions for you. But let me start with this one. The heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See.
Not much we can do then. We can come back to that code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. So what the hell kind of a job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
It's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. We have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she leapt up and ran out of the room. I took off after her.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
Then why don't you...
I wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
It's a good question. The crew quarters or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. It means I've spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks. We walked down the path to where it ended next, to the pond. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it!
What? Do what?
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the hell, Alice? I'm not going to kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying! I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
You did. Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek, then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you were after, right? People who killed your dad.
Yes.
Do they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come
If
on.
you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. My lips are sealed.
Really?
What, crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. So now we're going to get her story. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the U.S. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math, earned a full-ride scholarship straight out of high school, and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as the Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding. Trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years. Rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. On my way there, my car had some engine trouble and had stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Miss Clover. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I'd expected. They told me they'd been locked up inside of the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Santa in June? Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. Oh. So, the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was... Okay, so maybe... Yes, hello, cat. So it's not June and Santa, it was Ace and the other people in Cradle Pharmaceuticals that were connected to this group. There's also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. Ace, right, who I'll just call H for now. Hongo had been bound in place in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. There you go. More specifically, I suppose H was a member, and very committed to their cause. Interesting. So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. Hey, this is back. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try and give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousnesses of certain other people. Yay, it's all this fun stuff from the first game. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before and actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. Oh, so this isn't even like a secret only known to a few people. This is like the government knows about this at this point. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. The bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. She was... I believe she was a transmitter because Snake was a receiver, if I'm remembering the first game correctly, because the ones who were... Everyone except... June was, I think, a transmitter, but she got put in the wrong building. So she should have been in the other building. So I think, yeah, all the other people who were in the building that Clover in, yeah, so she was a transmitter. But I think you would need Snake to form the other half of that, wouldn't you? After several months of training, she was sent off on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was fake, and Clover was captured almost immediately. Ooh. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in a basement room, I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. Oh, it was my father. Oh no. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in a mask had come to visit her. He'd said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they'd killed him. Perhaps they'd thought they were sending a message to me, or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers comprised of 8s and 9s. Whoa. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. Ooh. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness, not for the monsters who'd put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night I made a promise to myself that I would avenge my father. I didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He'd sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time our operation would succeed. This time I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared. So you inhaled that gas, passed out, and woke up here in the AB room.
Yes. Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah, thanks. She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs. Based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that person is a Myrmidon, right?
Yes.
And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you have any clues?
Clues? Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but
How can we do that?
I told you. We need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
It's a key.
A key is a key. It allows you to sort of unlock a code. The Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Wait. A long string of numbers? Oh. Oh, I've seen a long string of numbers before. So this might be actually like the big one, the big root. Because nobody's died yet, and I think this is another thing that we've learned. Yeah, because this was yet another path that we learned something. Because we didn't learn about this on, or what am I saying? Or did we? I can't remember. This might have, oh wow. Seven 8153610988380942419905551.
What the hell?
I was almost as surprised as she was. The numbers had just kind of appeared in my mind, and I was saying them before I knew what I was doing. Alice looked at me incredulously, and I stared back.
Where did... Wait. Can you say that again?
7815361098838094241990551.
That's 198,449,351 to the third power.
I'm sorry, what? How do you know that? Not even like, you know, weird knowledge aside, how do you know that?
That number you just told me. Prime factor decomposition on that number gets you 198,449,351 to the third power.
Okay. Dealing with, like, crazy math geniuses here, like, holy crap. Talking about reducing an integer to a series of prime numbers that you multiply together to get it, right? Like, if you have 30, then you'd get 2 times 3 times 5.
Exactly. You probably learned that in junior high, right?
So you're saying that it's a prime, and if you multiply it by itself 3 times, you get that.
Yes.
Don't tell me you just did all of that in your head.
I did do all of that in my head.
Holy crap.
Simple mental arithmetic.
Yeah, okay. No way. That's impossible.
I told you. I'm better at math than most people.
Okay, there's being better at math than most people, and that's a completely different level. Not better at math.
Look at you. You just recited a huge string of numbers. That seems pretty astounding, too.
Yeah, but I have weird time powers that I don't fully understand.
Where did you find that number anyway?
On a box out in the desert in a different timeline. I didn't know what to say. What would I tell her? That it just came to me?
Can't tell me, huh? Fine. I'm pretty sure that's the key to the code, though. I know the Myrmidons use prime factors for their keys. And there aren't a lot of 25-digit numbers that turn out to be the third power of a prime number. I think there's a very good chance that number you memorized was specifically created by someone.
Could you explain that with small words?
Well, look at the prime factors of your number. 198,449,351 to the third power. I think that's our hint for cracking the code. You still don't get it?
No.
Try to remember the code we saw in the infirmary. What did it say on the monitor?
Like 22 letters? Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat that. You can see it on the screen.
And the second row?
They just repeat.
Wow, you've got a pretty impressive memory.
I mean, admittedly, that is an amazing
We
memory.
could really use someone like you back at the...
Well, keep going. How do we decode that?
You use 198,449,351 to point you to the right letters.
How do we do that?
Well, the first number is 1, so take the first letter. The next number is 9, so go 9 letters over from the first one. Then 8 from that one.
9. C-O.
Just keep going until you get something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. M. 1, 2, 3, 4. P. 1, 2, 3, 4. L. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. E. C-O-M-P-L-E. 1, 2, 3. T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Completed?
Make sense?
I remember what she said in my head. The prime number Alice has given me. Right. So we get to pick the letters. First letter would be C-O-M-P-L-E-T-E-D. Oh. You have 6 chances to succeed. Fail and the game is over. The code sheet won't be displayed when you input your answer. So why is to solve it now? Yeah, it's completed. Closing the key window will take you to the input screen. Yeah. It's funny that your game just ends if you can't remember. I did it. Completed. That's it. That's the answer.
Completed? Are you sure?
Yeah, I did exactly what you told me to do, and the word I got is completed. Well, actually, it's completed, completed, completed. The code and the letter repeat every 2 lines. It just repeats.
Well, I can't remember the code like you can, but if you're certain, I believe you.
Definitely, sir.
All right then. I wonder what completed is supposed to mean, though.
What? Aside from the obvious, you mean? I'm guessing here it means mission complete? So that's what the transmitter was for. Yeah, you know, in that other timeline that you don't remember.
Huh? What are you talking about? What transmitter?
I barely even heard her. Suddenly my mind was full of memories that hadn't been there a moment before. It was like a wave had washed away the sand, revealing a bed of precious gems underneath.
Holy Father, Holy Brother, Holy Master, my sacred mission is at last complete. With these 2 hands, mankind is saved. I am your well-made flesh. In your name, I give thanks.
Damn it! Why hadn't I realized it before? I could remember a series of numbers, but not this? At least I remembered it now. Dio was a member of the Myrmidons. And not just any member, he was their leader. That meant he had to be the one who planted the bombs.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Then answer my question. What the hell was that? What's this about a transmitter?
I didn't trust myself to try and explain it to her. More than likely, she'd just think I was insane. Even I could barely make sense of this sudden influx of new information.
Wait. Don't tell me you're one of the Myrmidons.
If I was, do you really think I'd reveal myself like this?
Point.
Out of nowhere, Clover appeared.
I've been looking all over for you. We're all
Really?
down in the Floor B warehouse. Well, all of us but Luna and Quark.
Why?
We've still got 45 minutes until the white doors open.
I know that!
Okay. Hey, wait a minute. I thought UK and Quark didn't know about the white doors.
Tenmyoji told us about them. He said he'd show us where they were, so we all followed him down to the Floor B warehouse.
I'm assuming you left Quark with Luna?
Yeah, anyway, when we showed up, Vi and Kay were already there. Well,
So?
all of a sudden, Vi, Tenmyoji, and Dio all started yelling at each other.
What?
Why? Did something happen?
According to Clover, the last AB game had been the cause of their fight. Even though Tenmyoji only had one BP, Fi had chosen Betray. They started a fight, and since Dio had pressed Betray on behalf of his team, eventually he got dragged in too.
That seems odd. Vi only had one BP too. Her choice seems like a perfectly valid defensive move.
Ugh! Just come with me! Kay's trying to calm them down, but there's only one of him.
Okay, come on Alice, let's go.
Coming!
All four of them were still there when we arrived. They seemed to have calmed down a bit, but the tension in the air was almost visible. I felt like I'd stepped into a room full of flammable gas. Even the smallest spark could turn the whole place into a raging inferno. Even Kay, usually so calm and collected, was standing ramrod straight with his hand balled into a fist at his side. I looked at Alice, pursed my lips, and then headed over to the angry knot of people occupying most of the room. Clover told me what's going on. This whole thing is stupid. You need to knock it off.
Stupid? What about this is stupid? We're talking about my life, you self-righteous dick!
I know, but yelling at each other isn't going to solve your problem. The best thing for us to do right now is to trust each other and get through this. Wouldn't you agree?
Hard to trust someone who tried to kill me.
Same to you. I told you letting Dio vote was a stupid idea. What did you think he was gonna do? You might as well have pressed the button yourself.
I couldn't just leave Quark alone.
That's no excuse. And where do you get off telling me I shouldn't have picked Betray? Did you even think that through? What, I was supposed to pick Ally? If I'd done that, I'd be dead right now.
I could say the same thing to you. Damn good thing Dio didn't choose Ally.
Please, that's enough from both of you. Sigma's right. This isn't the time to be bickering with each other.
Oh, you don't get to talk. You tried to betray Clover and escape on your own.
Perhaps. But I think that's better than nearly killing someone.
Well, I only did it so that she wouldn't kill Tenmyoji.
God damn it, enough already! I roared with fury and my voice echoed and rebounded off the walls of the warehouse. Everyone fell silent. I didn't know how long that silence would last, so I decided to put it all on the table. There was only one way I was going to be able to take control of the situation. Guys, listen to me. We really don't have time for this. I was met with a number of glares, but I soldiered on. See, the thing is, I figured out who planted the bombs.
What?
Is this what you were talking about earlier?
Sort of, yeah. I know which one of you it is.
Well, spit it out then.
Please, explain what's going on here.
I don't think I need to. They're going to admit their guilt in just a few minutes.
What?
You're all going to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Or I guess I should say Dio's mouth.
What are you on? You think I set those bombs?
Yes, I do.
Hey, if you're gonna accuse me, you better have some pretty damn good evidence, pal.
I'm not accusing you. I'm just stating a fact.
Oh yeah? Where the hell did you get that fact?
fun as it was, I knew taunting alone wouldn't be enough to make Dio confess. He'd just play dumb. He was good at it, and I'd get nothing. That meant I was going to have to trick him. Well, you see, I'm actually from Free the Soul.
Free the Soul? What's that? Some kind of hippie shoe company?
Don't play dumb, Dio. Or should I call you Left? Brother ordered me to come here, to keep an eye on you. It was quick, but for just a moment I saw his eyes twitch. I leapt on that moment of weakness like a hungry dog on a steak. Fine. Skepticism is understandable, admirable even. But perhaps this will convince you. I pressed forward, pulling out every fact I could remember. I told Dio about Brother's background and how his younger brother Left had been murdered. I mentioned casually that the Myrmidons were all clones of a single person. So, still not convinced? How about this? 7815. Do a little prime factor decomposition on that, and you'll get 198449351 to the third power. If I'm not who I say I am, how on earth could I possibly know that?
What? No, that's not possible.
Finally. So, let's start over, shall we? I was sent here to watch your every move. It seems our wise and noble brother doesn't trust you. He suspects betrayal.
No! You're lying!
I assure you I'm not. But if you don't believe me, why don't you go outside and call him yourself with your transmitter?
No! No! You have to be lying! Brother trusts me! That's why he chose me for this mission! Why would he make me the leader of the Myrmidons if he...
Huh? Sorry, what was that?
Said! Why would he have made me the leader of the Myrmidons if...
I grinned.
Wait. What the hell? Are you fucking kidding me?
Sorry, Dio. I've never even seen Brother.
What the hell was all that? How did you know all those things?
Dunno. Maybe I was divinely inspired?
Don't give me that shit!
What's going on?
What are these Myrmidons?
Dee and I stared at one another while Clover and Temyoji quickly explained to Phi and Kay about the memory card and the number 2 bomb, and about the code we'd found that was from a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons.
So you mean to say someone from the Myrmidons planted the bombs?
And Dio pretty much just admitted to doing it?
Yeah.
Bastards. I'll never forgive you.
I heard a low, furious muttering behind me and turned to see Alice, her lips pulled back into a snarl.
I am going to kill you!
Her voice rose to a scream as she charged toward Dio. He ducked out of the way smoothly and pulled something from his pocket.
Whoa there. I like my women a little feisty. But you're taking it a little too far, sweetheart. Tone it down.
What?
You see this? You know what it is, don't you?
Oh my god. Is that the detonator?
Exactly. And I assume you know what happens if I press this button?
Yes. I think I do. I'm guessing it'll set off both of the bombs.
Well, I wouldn't say both.
You mean there's still a number 1 bomb we haven't found?
Correct. And there's one more, too.
No. There are 4 bombs?
Exactly. I planted 4 bombs. They're the ones numbered 1, 2, and 3, but there's also one more. Bomb number 0. Add all that up and you're looking at about 4 tons of explosive power. Those go off and it's all over. That's enough oomph to turn this whole place into a smoking crater.
Aren't you forgetting something?
That'd kill you too.
So, I'm ready for that. I've got spares.
Spares? Is that what Sigma was talking about?
Yeah, clones.
I heard Alice whisper something to Clover.
Let's go, Clover. Show him all that training wasn't for nothing.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Right.
Before I had a chance to ask them what was going on, they moved.
Die, you bastard! Yeah!
She roared and leapt toward Dio, Clover following just behind. Alice threw a punch at Dio's face, and as he dodged, Clover spun out from behind her. Dio grunted and turned to focus on Alice, but Clover darted in and snatched the detonator from his hand.
Clover, get him!
Right! Sigma, catch!
Huh? Before I could respond, Clover had thrown the detonator at me. I scrambled to grab it out of the air and held it to my chest.
Damn it! Stop! Let me go! Still let go of me, you asshole!
Yelling didn't do him any good. Dio found himself subdued by the skillful teamwork of Alice and Clover. Strangely though, once they had a hold of him, he stopped struggling. I was reminded of a gazelle with its neck in the mouth of a lion. Had he surrendered? Or did he have some trick up his sleeve? Didn't feel right. I didn't have to wait long for my misgivings to prove true. The detonator in my hand suddenly began to flash. What?
Ha! Serves you right.
What are you laughing at?
You, her, all of you. God, you're stupid.
What? Why?
See that detonator you threw to Sigma? You activated it. If it gets more than a meter away from me, it sets itself off. We figured someone might try to take it away, so we put in a little safeguard. Since you two were kind enough to take it away from me, the bombs have gone from remote control to countdown timer. Go ahead and destroy the detonator if you want. Won't make any difference now. The bombs are gonna go off no matter what.
How long do we have?
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh no.
My condolences.
What can we do to stop them?
I told you that already. First, we need the device that allows us to input information. Then we plug it into each bomb and enter the codes.
Hey Alice, who the hell are you? How do you know all this?
None of your damn business. Just tell me where the input device is.
Well, that's none of your damn business. Fuck! Stop! You're gonna break it!
Of course. That's the plan.
Please, stop!
Just tell me what I want to know.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's in my coat, the right-hand pocket.
Clover, check it out. Right.
She nodded and started digging through his pockets. After a few minutes,
It's no use! There's nothing here!
Did you lie to me?
No, I swear, keep looking.
Oh, wait. There is something in here.
Clover pulled her hand from his pocket and held it out. Is that a pill? Like for medicine?
Hey, what is this?
Huh? I can't see it. Bring it over here.
Clover found and moved closer to Dio, holding the pill out toward him. Suddenly he moved, his right hand snaking out to grab the pill from Clover's hand. Before anyone could react, he shoved it into his mouth. Heard a tiny crack as he bit down on it. Almost immediately he grimaced in pain.
Shit!
What? What was that?
Poison, I guess.
What?
Damn! How could I be so stupid?
His eyes rolled up into his head. Flecks of spittle began to trickle out from the corners of his mouth. I grabbed him by the hair and shook. What the hell are you doing? Where's the input device?
Lost it. In my couch. Back home.
Don't screw with me.
Fine. Don't tell us. How about you give us the deactivation codes instead?
Deactivation. You guys are persistent. Fine. Not gonna do you much good anyway. I'll tell you. But you only get one. This is the deactivation code for Bomb 3.
Okay. Number 3 bomb password.
Ready? LXQ LHC NMR.
XQ, LHC, NMR. What about the other 3? Tell us the other 3. He didn't even seem to hear me.
My body will be a part of the foundation of a bright future.
His voice was weak and more foam was dribbling out of his mouth.
Such a beautiful world. May brother live in everlasting glory.
Those were the last words Dio spoke. He died with a strange, happy smile. Damn.
He only gave us the password for one of the bombs. This is bad. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
How much time have we got?
25 minutes.
Are you sure?
Yes. When he told us the time, I checked my bracelet. It said exactly 30 minutes.
You mean the bombs are gonna go off the same time the next set of doors opens?
Yes. The time on your bracelet is the time we have left.
Ooh, so 25 minutes.
This isn't good. I was hoping that we might be able to escape through the white doors, but
It takes 5 minutes for the primary door to open and close. So,
yes, I know. There's no way we can get through them before the explosion happens.
Well, there's no point just standing around. We should start looking. We need 3 things. The password input device.
And the remaining 2 bombs, right?
Right.
we also need passwords for all the bombs other than number 3.
Exactly.
Maybe Dio has a note or something?
Hold on. Let me check.
She knelt down and quickly checked his pockets and sleeves, then sat back on her heels, frustrated.
Damn. He's clean.
She looked pale.
Then we'll just have to hope we find it somewhere. Tenmyoji, can you go tell Luna what's happened?
Right. I'm on it.
Good. The rest of you, let's move out. We can do this. Let's go.
We all took off in a run, heading to different parts of the building. But all of our searching turned up nothing. And as we searched, the clock kept ticking. Then at last, the chromatic doors opened.
Chromatic doors have opened. 5 minutes remain until chromatic doors close.
Our time had run out. We watched the white doors open. Were they doors to heaven or to hell? The thought barely had time to flutter through my mind before everything went white. We didn't even have time to say goodbye. 1,000 emotions flooded my brain in those last moments. Why? How? How had we ended up this way? In a blistering wave of heat, like the surface of the sun itself, wiped out any lingering thoughts. My consciousness slipped away into a bottomless pool of darkness. Neither heaven nor hell, only the void. So, we got through all that, and then we still blew up. We did get a password, though. So we have the number 0 bomb password and the number 3 bomb password. So in theory, we can find the other two and other paths. Oh, you can just, yeah. So that was the Alice ending. So we got through lock number 4 and number 5. Yeah, because the long string of numbers was something we learned over here. Oh, it actually tells you, hey, here's the bomb number 0 deactivation code. We also got the long string of numbers. Does it actually say what it is if you click on it? Okay, so we get the bomb 0 deactivation code. And the long string of numbers. We get the bomb 3 deactivation code. We got Alice's ending. And then this one, I guess you just get it. If you can't get past this part, it just ends and you get game over. But yeah, my guess is, because we've still got this path to go down, where we betray right away, and then that leads to a bunch of other choices that we have to make, and then an equally long ending. So I get the feeling this is probably the one we want to try to do next. And then once we get this one, there might be some information in one of these. Maybe not this one, maybe this one, maybe this one. I don't know, this one also seems like it might be just a dead end. But hopefully after we do these two, then maybe that'll give us some information that'll help us get through these paths, and it'll just all build off of each other. But I think I'm going to save that for the next session. We'll jump back here. In fact, we'll go ahead and just do this. Well, we don't have to, because I can just reload.
Hey, it's almost time.
But, we'll save this in the other slots so we have, yeah. We'll save that for next time. I might do another stream later tonight because I want to try and get through this as quickly as I can. I do want to eventually start in on Zero Time Dilemma because that'll be great. But so far, I'm having fun getting through this stuff, figuring everything out, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. But I'll see you next time. Have a good afternoon, and take care.